You're listening to Chameleon Radio Podcast, delivering every week a new interview with the best hip-hop rap artists of all time. From coast to coast, with your host, Mia Marshall.
With top producers such as Stefan Ed, a highly versatile artist, Famoe is a rapper who started in the early 2000s. Over the last decade, Famoe have released records to Rap and Rhyme Records, Sony Music, Universal Music, Contour Records, just to name a few. Even the dance genre, working with top producers such as Stefan Edman or Alex Christensen, Famoe hit the official compilation charts internationally for over 70 weeks. One of the greatest collaborations along his career was with the rapper Corrupt for On My Side. A timeless artist, Famoe is ready for what is exciting. The new phase of his career, quote, "I want to go with wherever I want to go," end quote. He says, and yeah, he's awesome. I just would like to say that. I got to meet him on the podcast. We hung out for a couple hours, and yeah, he's awesome. He knows all about hip hop. You have no idea. He knows everything about the American rap, hip hop, and the whole culture. He is in Germany, but his heart is based on the Americas. I'm pretty sure I even joked around with him, said that I think he was an American in his past life because he just knows everything. He's just a true hardcore hip hop fan, pretty much. And yeah, I had a really good time talking to him, and yeah, I won't spoil it for you guys anymore. Just listen to it. Yo, Famoe, show them what's up. Digging into your profile here, I think that you accomplished a lot of things, and that's good.
Well, I'm actually in the industry since 2003. I started doing that kind of musician thing in a professional way. It was from 2006 after launching my first debut album called The Italian Stallion. So it's almost, we can talk about almost 20 years, yeah.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah,
did you actually have like a different job before that, or you just started off as
Yeah. I was working in a factory, doing robot programming and stuff like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is actually.
Do you play any instruments?
I used to when I was little. In the first place I was a dancer, a hip hop dancer, street style dancer. But my mother gave me a piano, e-piano, which I tried to learn on it, and I stopped it actually after 6-7 months and get into dancing. So I used to play piano, but not that much.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
But you're also a music producer, aren't you?
Not at all. I started doing some music productions things way back in the day with my best friend Nino, which turned out horrible. So I'd rather get the work done from producers which I know from the States or that are also involved with Grammy nominations and stuff like that. So I'm used to having the idea done and talking to the producers and getting the stuff ready so I can just focus on recording, songwriting, mixing, mastering, and finishing the end product to release the record.
So do you write your own songs, or you get?
Yeah.
Is it a collaboration?
No,
good. That's impressive.
Yeah. So I always write stuff. But there was also a record called Johnny Depp, which I did with a major label back in the day in Germany, which was all sad, just rapping, getting in, and that's it. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So what were the most memorable moments in your career?
My most memorable life, I think it was the record session that I did with Corrupt, from Dog Pound Gang, Snoop Dogg's group. The single that I did in the studio with Corrupt was one of the amazing meetings and appointments and recording sessions that I ever had, because Bass Dillinger was involved. Also, he also produced with Dr. Dre back in the day, The Chronic. So that was pretty amazing.
Oh, how great! Yeah, being able to meet like those, like the guys that are in the industry for a long time, it might have been probably pretty exciting for you.
Yeah. It was.
And how do you feel? What is the best song that you ever released and why? Like
best
personally,
song
like the one.
It's not even released yet, so. But there are a few.
Let's not spoil that.
Yeah. There are some records which I'm really proud of, especially the one that I did way back in the day in 2009, On and On, featuring Makio. That was my first experience doing a record with a U.S. artist, that came out really great. We had some great buzz back in the day. I had some reviews on big magazines. I was on the XXL magazine in the U.S. back then because of the records. And also Acting Like This, which I did with Amandi. And there are so many other records. I mean, I can't pick some, but at the end of the day, I'm actually happy with all of the records that I did. But there was just one record. But there's just one record that is about my life. So it's just some important stuff, some important storytelling that I did in London with TQ. That will be dropped in a few months this year. So I'm excited for that. Yeah. I'm pretty excited because this is a kind of record which I'm really attached to it, and can't wait to drop that. Yeah.
Oh, nice. It sounds like you are like a little bit versatile when it comes to your music, because you don't only have rap or hip hop, you also have like techno type of like house, dance music. Yeah, that's funny. Awesome. I like that.
Yeah, it's funny because I was never into that dance genre or house genre because it's not really my type of music. But if I got the opportunity to jump on stuff and try something different out, maybe I'm the one that tries. But also, if it comes to the new hip hop, the auto-tune stuff, that's a thing that I don't really like, and it takes a lot of.
Oh, there's a lot of that out there.
Yeah, so maybe I will try something out, to get up to date, because always if I'm dropping records, people reviewing my stuff, they loving it, but they also saying it's kind of outdated. So I still do have this old school vibes and old school stuff going on. Yeah, that's the main. So I'm trying to figure out in the next few projects that I got going on to maybe do a great mix of the old school vibe with the new school, but still make it different, just to have that unique style, which I'm working on at the moment, but it takes a lot of time. So,
Can I say something? I think that you sound a little bit like Eminem. I don't know if it's just me, but like listening to your songs, I don't know. Do you notice that?
Yeah, I'm hearing that all the time because Eminem was one of the artists that really made me who I am in that type of music, to be honest. But to be also, if people review my stuff and saying you kind of sound like Eminem, I mean, we're talking about one of the most valuable rappers of all time. And if people always, saying, I mean, it's a pleasure But to get to that
Yeah, for
level,
sure.
there is a long work ahead of
Yeah.
me. But I'm still glad that people always, saying
No, it's
I
something
do
with your
have.
voice. It's something, yeah,
Yeah,
something with your
probably.
voice
Yeah.
or how you,
Or
yeah,
how I'm
I'm pretty
rapping
sure
or the
it's
way
not
I'm
that you're
writing. Yeah.
trying.
No,
It's not that
I'm
you're
not trying
trying to
to.
be like him, but
Yeah.
it's just your natural voice.
Yeah.
It's
And I'm
great. Like
attached.
I like it.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I'm really attached to his music since day one. So maybe that's why, you know. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm a big fan of him as well.
yeah, love
He's
him too.
great.
Love him too.
So, did you ever learn like anything from the guys that you worked with? I'm pretty sure you have. Like, but what was the most
It
like
was it
like what's
was
the most
actually
beautiful thing that you?
it was a process that I really never about the way, because in the first place, when I was working with artists, if you're talking about Donna from Shy, Skoloff, Drew Hill, then Donnie Klang that also won the making the band from P Diddy back in the day. I never. My first thing was how to act in front of those people, because they are like stars to me. If I'm talking about Donnell and Shy, I was watching Beverly Hills Cop and listened to the soundtrack of the movie
Mm-hmm.
which he performed, and that was the main point. So I struggled always to know how to act in front of those people. But once I get into a conversation with those guys, it shows that they are just human beings. So it's nothing special. They
Oh
are
yeah,
like
of
me, like
course.
you. You know what I mean? But to get to that point, you
Yeah.
have to do the experience first. You also got some selfish people, that are really big names and acting different, but that's business. But at the end of the day, every time if I'm working with several artists or another artist or bigger artists, there is always a certain thing that you learn through it. I remember when I was doing the session with Corrupt. I mean, how he was performing in the booth, it was something
Mm-hmm.
crazy, something new to me, because the way how he did the backings, the way how he recorded it, the way how he dropped the verses. You just pick certain spots from each experience with each and every artist that you've been through, and take the advantage of it.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was just since you've met so many different artists, you probably learned a lot of things from each one of them.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's important. Um, were you influenced by old records or tapes? Like,
Uh,
remember back in the day when we didn't have a cell phone, that we had to use
yeah.
like
So,
tapes or records,
so you mean what kind of music I enjoyed or I heard back in the day?
or were you influenced? Like, yeah, like the ones that
Oh,
you
the main
enjoy
the
the
main
most. It
influence
was.
the main influence was Michael Jackson while I was a kid, because I was used to dance like him back in the day when I was a little
Mm,
kid. And then after MJ, after I started really to get into that dance stuff and then swiped out to the rap music, it was people like Tupac, Diddy, Notorious
oh
B.I.G.,
yeah,
Snoop Dogg.
classic.
Yeah, and I'm actually also a soul child. So if we're talking about Jagged Edge, Brian McKnight, Music Soul Child, Cameron. That there are so many artists from back in the day, LL Cool J, R. Kelly, which I'm still listening to it. Before I'm listening to new music, sometimes I'll rather grab some old CDs, or go into Spotify and go into the late 90s or early 2000s and listen to records that just make me happy. JC,
Yeah,
Fiesta, Carlos
yeah, all
Santana.
those.
Yeah, that was just it was different. It was so different, and
Yeah,
I
that
really missed
that
the.
generation was
Yeah,
the
that was.
the whole generation. I'm not sure. I'm from the 80s as well. I don't know how old you are, but I think we're probably on the same
87,
like same
87.
year.
Yeah, yeah,
87. Oh, okay.
yeah. I'm
Yeah,
87.
but I grew up in Brazil, so it was a little different. Like we did had a big phase where we were into Madonna and Michael Jackson and all.
J-Lo.
I was a little kid, but I still liked it a lot. Like watching their concerts, it was like crazy. There's like so many people watching them or whatever. And
I'm grateful being a guy that's been through that time. Even it was too early for me, but still, I was still in it to enjoy the music. So.
Yeah, me too. Like I used to watch my aunt dance and like with her friends and stuff, and it's like something that always remind me of them, like of her pretty much, and my mother, and like just the memories I guess we get from music.
Yeah.
Can you name 2 artists that you would like to collaborate with? And
2 artists? Well, Snoop would be one of them. Snoop would be one of them, and Busta Rhymes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can have his style, like a little bit of the old school, like both of them. Yeah, you would be good. Be a good song.
Those were also. Yeah, I do have so many wishes, but to get those 2 artists on it would be awesome.
Yeah, I was wondering, have you ever heard of any Brazilian hip hop?
I never heard.
Singers?
My girlfriend is actually a part Argentina. She's Italian in Argentina, and she's listening to Nicky Jam, Nicky Jam and Daddy Yankee and people like that. But I never been to that, that Spanish music style. I don't really that way that I'm used to listen to hip hop music and the way I was grown up, listening to some other styles. But to be honest, there are some records from Nicky Jam that I do like, Maybe I have to go to that kind of direction and pick some records.
Well, I would just say something like in Brazil, it's unreal how like the support, how people treat musicians. There is, I don't know, if you ever have a chance, check out a girl named Anita. Her name is Anita. She's a big phenomenon in Brazil. Like she's been like she's done songs, because in Brazil we speak Portuguese, but she's done a lot of Spanish songs, even English. She's been doing a lot of English songs, and just how even an artist from either here, I don't know if she ever done with songs with Canadians, but I know that she's done with Americans, and just like how much their audience grows just by having a song done with her. It's amazing. Yeah. Just like it opens a lot of doors for, just for a different audience. Yeah. Like South America, we all about parties. Yeah, we all, like everybody, I guess it's all about parties, and especially having like the tech dance music, and I think it would do really well there. Yeah. Even collaborate.
I will take a look at it.
Yeah, you should. You sure should. Like, she's awesome. Like, she's a party animal, but she really like represents our culture, and because like the favela music, it's called funk. They were like very discriminated by the elites or whatever, the people there with money or whatever. Like they wouldn't like that genre there in Brazil. So she was the one that actually brought to the world and represented, and everybody likes it now. So but she also done a lot of she also done a lot of music, like a lot of songs with Spanish singers. So she's awesome. It's awesome that she speaks a lot of languages.
Yeah. That's good.
Okay, let's get back to it. Do you think you could could be any better as an artist? And if so, how would you accomplish that? Is there anything that you think that, like, either be on schedule or setting up a plan to do things, or
Well,
just
just my workflow, you mean?
mm-hmm.
You're talking about how? Well, I'm the type of guy that is really organized. Doing the plans to get to certain points. I do have a kind of bucket list, but not a bucket
Yeah.
in a certain way to if it comes to achievements. So each and every time, if I'm setting a point, I'm trying to get there, no matter how hard it gets. But I'll do anything to get there, and I will get there. And
Sounds like you're determined.
Yeah, and once you get there, you just pick up the next step, on top of it, and that's how I'm living my life, setting up my plans to the things that we only live once, so just make the things that makes you happy, and make sure to achieve the things you want to achieve, and if you go for it, you're gonna get it. So it's my point of view, and that's what I also learned from Eric Thomas. I'm listening to that motivational speaker since 6 or 7 years, and since I'm attached to his words, I can say that it really works. So if you got a plan, you have to be consistent on what you're doing, no matter what, no matter how hard it gets. And at the end of the day, you gonna get there, but it takes time, and you have to be patient, and be smart.
Yeah, and you also got to be committed.
I'm like, even if you can do things, you don't need to, you know what I mean? Because there are always options to get to a certain point with shortcuts, but it's always also a thing to think about it the right way, if it's worth it, or, just do it the right way. Because if it comes to manipulation, the internet is full of it, and it doesn't make sense. So I'll rather do it the right way, even if it's harder sometimes. But once you get there, you've been through all the process, and if there are opportunities to get to the next spot, you are ready to go because you've been through all of that. So you don't miss any steps. So it's better to take your time and go step by step to your goal, instead of, moving fast, but once you get there, you are not really ready to get to the next step, or to get to the next point.
Yeah, I can see that.
So that's my workflow and my point of view. And also, I'll never listen to other people if it comes to the stuff that I want, because if you got your vision, and if you want to make things happen, there is the vision in a certain way that you are seeing it. Maybe there are people that can get you on the right track if you miss something out, if you don't know certain things, and people talking to you and do got the same kind of vibe as you do, then it's okay. But there are also naysayers, that just want to hate on stuff, and, just want to make sure that you don't keep moving forward because they don't wish that you got success. So I'll never listen to those kind of guys. So I'd rather be surrounded with positive people instead of other stuff,
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, I can see that would have a lot of people that's not looking for your best interest, right? They would give you Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, the music industry it's really, I wouldn't say difficult, but it's tough, but it's complicated more so than anything, because
people forgot that it's not just about the music, it's to understand the business. Because if you don't understand the business, you don't understand how the things work, and you can be so good, but it's still useless because you need to do the right moves. And even if you know how it works, there is no guarantee that you get the shot the big time. There is no guarantee.
That's right.
Yeah, but at least you know how the game works, and you can go through it. Can get attached to the things that they work in the right way. And if you stay consistent, there is a pretty good chance to get to a certain level.
If you could have your fans remember one thing about you, what would that be, and why?
That's a good one. Well, if music, I want to be the kind of guy that is. I'm doing the music from the inside out. So I'm not doing it because people want to listen to some certain things of music. I'm doing it because I'm loving what I do. So that's why my style is so different from all the other stuff that you heard. Maybe it's because the old school that I got the old school elements, but I also think that it's important to create your stuff the way that you want to share it with the world. So if people know me, if people love my music, they also appreciate the way that I'm doing and putting the energy in it. So I'm always the kind of guy that says,
sure.
if it comes to music, I'm doing it from the inside out, because if there is no passion behind, and if you're talking about just doing it for money, then I'm not the right guy for it. So I'm working from the inside out. If it feels right, then you know that my music got a certain type of vibe and also passion in it.
Yeah, for sure. That's good.
Yeah.
And on a scale of 1 to 1,000, how good? I would say 100. I guess I put one extra zero. 1 to 100. How good is your new single compared to your last one?
Oh,
Like
I think actually a 200. A 200. I think that the last record that I did with Big Brothers, that's a UK platinum group from back in the day. They did also the soundtrack for Scooby Doo back in the day. I think my masterpiece is a record that combines all the great of hip hop and lyricism, and that was a record which I was really happy to release because we knew that if people are listening to it, they gonna feel the late '90s and early 2000s vibes. Big time.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
and
you got that song stuck in my head like for a week.
and especially the third verse, which I jumped in. I was like, man, came out that great, but I was happy at the end of the day because if I'm listening to it, I was like, damn, that was a record which really from the start to the end, it has all the energy. Maybe to be honest, we had maybe we do a remix, and changing the hook for it. It's just a thought for an EP or something like that. But at the end of the day, that record is awesome. And on next week on Friday. And next week on Friday, I'm about to release another song called "What I've Been Through." That's actually a soundtrack for an indie movie that was done in Ghana, which will be out on Netflix and Amazon around about this year, somewhere this year. I don't know when exactly, but the premiere in the U.S. was on January 29th on a theater, and I think on the 5th March will be the next one in Memphis on a theater. So they got some premieres going on. Yeah, and that record is more about, being through certain stuff in life, obstacles, pain, motivation, and all that stuff. But it's also a record that I can say is on top of it, the next level of the things that you already heard. Good. Yeah, so.
Yeah, okay. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, I really dig into your music. Like I was telling my friends, yeah, it's kind of hard to find. Like nowadays, there is like the like you said, the new vibe, like the new school, I guess, of the Gen Z generation is. It's a different style. I like it, but it's not. I don't know. I'm a big like for the old school rap, hip hop.
Yeah.
More than the new style, I guess.
Yeah. If people are asking me, I'm always like, man, if it comes to autotune, I can listen to it if it's about T-Pain, because he was the guy that actually
started that, I think.
Yeah, he started it. Actually, Cher started it in the 70s back in the day with one record, but T-Pain started this kind of vibe. Then it came big with Lil Wayne, But afterwards, I don't know. I don't know. Things change so hard, and it's still changing every 3 or 4 or 5 weeks. I can hear it on the billboards in the UK each and every time. Music is changing so fast nowadays, and it's not about passion anymore. If I'm listening to interviews,
No.
If I'm doing the research and we go through interviews from Snoop, from Dre, from Michael Jackson, if they did a record, they just put another kind of work in it instead of now. I think nowadays it's like they just jumped in the booth, writing some lines down without even a sense behind the whole track, and they just
Yeah.
they just put the
Yeah,
record
there's a
on
lot of that.
and that's it. Yeah, because I mean that has nothing to do with music anymore. So I'm like,
No.
why? But that's the business right now. Each and every
Yeah.
artist is sounding the same. If we're
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah,
10 or
that's
15
not
years ago, now it's funny because if I'm doing music, people are saying my music sounds kind of like outdated, but hey,
No, I don't think, I personally don't think so, but
yeah, but that's the average though. But at the end of the day, people was also like back then, if we talk about the old school stuff, nobody sounded the same way as an artist. Nobody sounded like Pac, nobody sounded like Dre, nobody sounded like Snoop. But now each and every artist sounding the same. So
yeah.
I can't deal with it. So if people saying my music is outdated, I'm like, all right, I got it. Then I'll take care of what's coming up in the future because, just trying to find out the best arrangement of the old school and the new school, putting it together, creating a new style and see what comes out. So that's the plan for this year.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah, now there's a lot of like the Gen Z, I guess the generation Z or whatever. They're hard to get into their heads because they are just
Yeah.
but if you can't get that little, if you can figure out the secret to get into their heads,
Then
it
you're
will
good to
be
go. Yeah. Totally right.
it will be a good way to expand your fan base.
Exactly.
And what is your educational background?
Went to school. I mean, in the States, in Germany, it's a little bit different. But I did my degree, and I also worked in a factory. So I'm all set. I was 10 years in school. I did then my working time 3.5 years for my job. Then I was working on robos, drill machines, metal industry actually, and studied management and business for 3.5
Oh,
years too.
I bet that
Yeah,
that helped you with your music career, hey?
I was
Like
the kind of guy.
knowing
I
that.
don't want to. Yeah, exactly. That was the main point. So my main focus was much input as possible to be that kind of guy that making the moves with creativity and logic thinking to do it the right way. Even if it's hard sometimes, but it was important to me that I knew what I'm doing. So that's why I studied 3.5 years as well for it. And then I did my mix and mastering engineering as well. And yeah, if it comes to
That's
education,
great.
yeah. And I learned on my own talking English. So that's the other thing. I remember in 9/11 back in the day when I was in school, that kind of topic was so impacted with pain and death and and I remember back in the day, I was switching all over the place, CNN, BBC, because we reached those channels from Germany, so I was able to watch them. And once I get into that English language, I was watching movies in English, things that I didn't understand. I wrote it down.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, I wrote it down, things that I didn't understood, and just watch the movie again with a German subtitle or Italian subtitle, to understand the meaning. So and that was a process. And then when I was in 2009 in Boston recording my debut US album Explicit, Then I was close to people that talked English or American English the right way, and that was sort of the next step to start conversations the right way. And yeah, step by step, month after month, year after year, it went better and better and better. And
well, you know what, you're really good at it. Like I could never tell that you don't even have an accent. I don't think. So, well, I guess English to me is
yeah.
English to me is like my second language as well. So I believe I do have an accent, but I don't hear that one. No, you're really good.
Like I said,
surprising.
I appreciate it. Thank you. It took me a long time to get to that point.
Oh, I bet.
That's why. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I'm happy that I've been through the whole process.
Yeah, for sure. Do you sing it in German?
No, I hate that. I had an issue back in 2016, I think it was. I was sick and tired of releasing my music on an independent way, and I signed to a record label that was distributed with Universal. But I wasn't able to get out of the contract, and I was fixed 2 years. And we've been through court cases because they forced me to rap in German. So I've been through hell with that company, And that was the main point, because like I said before, if it comes to music and you really want to do stuff, and you do need, you in the first place, you gotta have the passion to do what you do, right? So if the passion is missing, you can't expect some great records. And they just tried to force me rap in German, and I was like, listen, man, if I was able to rap in German or sing in German, now, after 10 years, I can say for 100% I will be one of the top 5 artists in Germany. But since there was no passion behind, there was nothing which I really loved with this music, there was no connection. Why should I do that? Because I'm in Germany actually, but I'm still doing English music, but I did already some great stuff, with a foreign language. That's why I can say, if I was used to doing music in German, I can be for 100% sure that I would be one of the top 10 artists over here for a period of 10 years, 100%. And people that know me also know I'm right in this point of view, because my work effort rate is really huge, And
oh, that's great.
Yeah, but if it comes to German rap, there is no way that I support that kind of music, because there is no connection.
Oh, I see it. Like, what is the genre that is like popular there in Germany? Like, but like, what type of music is popular?
Popular rap artists are probably right now people like. I mean, back in the day, there was a big ones like Bushido, Cedo, and people like that are still big, but they are also old school guys. Called the old school generation, because now we got some people like. Oh, I don't even know the names though.
Can suggest me a couple, because I don't think I haven't heard any.
All right,
German
I know people like Bushido, Agro Berlin. Then there is another guy called Cedo, Massive. Then we have Echo Fresh. Cool Savage is one of the big rap artists since day one. I mean, he's in the game for almost 20 years, but he's a kind of guy like Eminem. He's doing it the right way, and is always loyal to his style. That's why I appreciate him so much. He's one of the guys that even if I don't listen to German hip hop, he's a guy that I always gonna show respect, because he always stays loyal to his style. He never changed. He maybe changed the instrumentals, that goes with the time, and the music, but he never changed the kind of work that he always did. That's why I appreciate him so much. Cool Savage. He also
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, Savage. KOOL or Savage, SAVAS. He also used to do records, with samples from DMX, some great hip hop DJ Flash, and he been through some good he did some good records with a combination of great hip hop US style, to be honest. So, and he did also records with E40, Corrupt. He been through a lot also with US artists. Yeah.
That's good, and it's good that you also put your foot down and said that you want to do the style of music that you want to do, not whatever to do.
Exactly, and that's a hard point, because to create something new, with this generation now, and still being loyal to your style, is difficult to find the perfect middle. But I think I'll get there. I'm pretty sure I'll get there.
You're already there.
Yeah.
Do you feel like hip hop and rap has a positive or a negative impact on society?
Well, to be honest, in the past, people died. Now, still people die, and I don't know if it's really because of the music. I think there was also really big gangs behind, because gangbangers were almost all over the place. And since most rappers are from those kind of, certain spots,
hoods.
Yeah, just being a thug and becoming a rapper is just a regular thing in the States. Oh, most of them, because of the education, the people, how they grew up with, and they don't have the opportunities which we have. Well, I'm glad to be in Germany. I never had that kind of problems, because I can't even imagine how it is talking about, the ghetto. Because I've been
for sure.
I was in Harlem. I walked through it, and I saw it with my own eyes how hard life can be. But if it comes to those kind of things, I think there is the influence, how you grew up.
Yeah, the music.
Yeah, you write it down. The same what happened with Juice WRLD, he was talking about death and drugs and this and that, and at the end of the day, he died because of an overdose, because of drugs. And same thing with Pac. He was a gangster. He was a gangster. Maybe he wasn't.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, because of the fame, because of the music, because how the way he was, things.
Where he grew up, I guess, too, right?
Yeah. End up in a certain way, and all the greatest artists we have in the rap industry was always involved with gangbangs, and that with gangbangs, and that's the thing that I can say. It's good in a certain way, because you can see how people grow up in that kind of circle, But it's also good to see, like, I don't know, that are coming from a rich side, from a poor side, from a gangster side. And you can see the things, how they evolve as well.
The difference. I see the difference in your music, and I don't know, my opinion anyways, I find that there is a lot of labeling when it comes down to the rap music and hip hop. Like how they treat women, right? Or even if the female rappers, they should be setting an example.
But I think, since we've been through that Lil Kim stuff back in the day with B.I.G., I think people are attached to that. They want exactly that kind of style from a girl if it comes to rap, because that's what sells, Yeah, Nicki Minaj was the best example. He did actually the same stuff that Lil Kim did, but just in a different, actual new generational way. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, sure.
But if I see those two artists, those two legends, they did the same thing, just a different generation about good stuff and become famous.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
Foxy Brown, same thing, back then when she did also with Cisco that Thong Song remix. There are so many artists that if you go into that kind of direction and you got that style, you got that face, that really fits into that kind of circle